Welcome to Russell Heritage Golf. Hopefully you guys are all keeping really good. Today we're going to be talking a lot about footwork and how influential and important it is to use the ground in the early part of the backswing position. Now, when I'm working with different golfers, whether it's generally face-to-face or online, whoever it might be, I'm very flexible in my approach towards whatever that individual wants to achieve. So I'll always have a conversation and they'll talk about positions, and everyone is slightly different where they feel comfortable. But you always need context in golf to get better. So you need to have something you can measure whether you're improving. And the easiest thing to improve with most golfers comes fundamentally down to distance. And what I wanted to do today is talk about a strong movement that you need to be introducing in the early part of the backswing to help you generate more distance in your golf swing. And where it comes from is the sort of first motion. So what I tend to see with golfers that struggle for distance is they don't really move much from their trail to their lead side. And not really moving much from your trail to your lead side basically just means you can't really gather momentum in the golf swing. And they tend to stay very still and they tend to sort of lean back and they get quite stuck. And it's quite a safe place because if you sort of do that, you'll get control of your contact and you can strike the golf ball every time. But again, you're going to be lacking that ability to load in towards that trail leg, shift that momentum towards that lead side, trigger that rotation and really whip that golf club through. So that's the key thing that we're going to be trying to do in this sort of early part of the backswing position. And the way I would always encourage golfers to do this, and I'm going to do it using my orange peel board as I'm here at 4 Ashes, is I would encourage a golfer to use an instrument that raises the trail foot up. So you guys have seen on the channel before, I've used sometimes like a little wedge board, or I've just encouraged you to create something at home which essentially just raises the foot up a little bit. Now, when you use an object which raises the foot up, it just encourages this leg to stay flexed. And by keeping this leg flexed, what you can then do is start to feel that this is quite a strong resistance building in the golf swing. So this is trying to resist and pushing towards the ground. And all I'm going to do now is just shift my pelvis into the leg. So you can actually see how much my pelvis moves towards that sort of trail side very early on. And that shifts the pressure very quickly in towards that trail side. Now the benefit of doing that and shifting in towards that trail side is what it does. Like so. So if I shift in towards that trail side, it basically means I'm shifting my weight very quickly to my trail side, which means now I can start to get that feeling very early on in my backswing that I can start to progressively move to my lead side. And that's a big thing that we're going to be looking for. So I would suggest with golfers, when you do this type of thing, is to use some sort of platform and just shift the pelvis in towards the leg and start to feel that shift of pressure. Now, you don't have to move your head. So you can still see the way that my head stays very centralized, but my pelvis shifts towards that trail side. And this is a movement that has been well documented through biomechanical research that a large proportion of professional golfers do. It's just subtler than it feels. So when we look at pro swings, I'm not saying they're sliding around, but there's that shift of the pelvis towards that trail side very, very early on. And again, the reason why that's so key is because instead of being here and on top of the ball and you've got nowhere to go, it gives you that confidence to just move a little bit very quickly as you're taking that club back, shifting that pressure towards that trail side. And then, like I said, that then lends yourself the capacity to move towards the left-hand side. So with students that I work with online, that's a big thing that I'm always getting them to do. And this is what I do with you guys. I'm encouraging you to do the same thing. So find an object at home that you can plonk your trail foot on. And then just sort of practice trying to keep your head still, but almost allowing your pelvis to slide in towards that leg and start to feel that sort of sense of weight pressure moving very early on and that activation in the glute very early on. And then from there, then like I said, as you continue to wind up, then you can start concentrating on moving more towards that lead side. And that is a big difference, when I'm teaching golfers, and the ones that have good distance are the ones that understand how to move and how to use the ground. And the ones that don't have as much distance are the ones that generally are not using the ground. They're not using the legs. They're not shifting the pelvis. They're very centered. They're very armsy. And I'd certainly suggest it's worth having a go at doing this exercise to help you find, I would say, just a more momentum gaining golf swing. and it will feel almost like less effort but more powerful at the same time. So have a go with it. It's a really important move. Just practice shifting that pelvis, keep your head still, get the weight pressure moving very early and towards that trail leg. Catch up with you guys again really soon.